Phil, well done. Off to a good start. Darlington away, never an easy place to go. There are no easy away games, are there really? But good result.
I don't think there'll be any easy games all away or home. The fact that people are talking about 2 home games coming back to Agbra after a good away journey is interesting to me because of the way it panned out last season. You know, with 18 games to go, you know, we were better off away from home than what we were at Agbra in the end. But I think we've resolved 1 or 2 issues at home in the pre-season friendlies, challenging 1 or 2 decent sides, you know, Newport County being one of them, Stoke City being another, and I think that test of the ability to play in front of your own home fans was there for everybody to see. You know, a decent surface out there, which is going to be this year. Over 1,000 turned up for the Newport game, and it was their first team, if truth be known. And you always go from pre-season friendlies to see how they, you know, the opposition that you played against do in the league, and Newport haven't had the best of starts, but that's not for us to follow. Our responsibility is to get a group of players that are playing in the world that we're playing in the right direction, in the right way, in the right manner, and, you know, honing in on them skills and making sure that we play that kind of football in the league, which we did do at Darlington last week, and in sticky conditions, difficult conditions, away from home. You don't know what it's like, you know, the pitch, the surface and the surroundings. You have no idea what the first game is going to be like, but we turned up. And we turned up to in fine style, if truth be known. Won the game 2-1, but could have been comfortable. At the moment they scored and made it uncomfortable for the last 5 minutes, but, you know, I think if Darlington, and Steve will agree with this, I should imagine, if Darlington had got something from the game, they would have pinched it from us. So with all that in mind, you know, you think, have we got something going? Well, it's a bit early for that to make decisions on that, but we are playing with confidence at the moment, born out of the fact that we had a good pre-season. Fitness levels are good, no injuries to report from the game, and we've had a good week on the training ground, and you know, as a manager, that's all you can hope for.
One of the impressive things I thought of at Darlington was when you got the ball wide, and Joe Folks, for example, going down the right-hand side, he whipped it in early at times, and that caused consternation for Darlington. That getting those early crosses in was a factor, I thought.
I think not just the early crosses, I think it's approaching the game in a way that if we play this style of football, if we're allowed to play a style of football, which I'm not saying for 1 minute we're going to be allowed or afforded in the next 45 games, I think people, even at this level, coaches come to this level and they've got good experience and they know how to play and they've got an idea about how the game should be played, and I respect that, I fully respect that, and I don't think for 1 minute teams are going to allow us to dominate, whether we're at Agbra or whether away from home. It'll be a brutal battle when we get our teeth into it, for sure, but on Saturday the sun will be shining, you know, great surroundings, lovely surface. The home supporters will hopefully turn up. You know, we're hoping for 2,500, 3,000. And we've got a team that comes and plays football as well. You know, Radcliffe proved in their first game that they've got potency, they've got goals, and they've certainly showed that in the pre-season friendlies that we've watched them as well. So we've got to be on our guard, but we've got to be, I think, believing in the fact that we've got a scalp already, and a decent scalp at that. You know, Darlington, a lot of people were expecting to be at the right end of the division, and we've gone there, not in no uncertain terms, but we've gone there with a belief, born out of what we've done in pre-season, and hopefully, you know, with game by game, if that confidence grows and the belief starts growing and we can nurture that, we can still attract players. You know, the window's always open in the National League. We always want to strengthen, we're always looking at that situation, but at this moment in time, you've got to say the 7 or 8 players that were brought in my eyes, untrained or trained as is, in my eyes, it looks like we've improved from last year and we've gone down a division. So, you know, hopefully, you know, the style of football that we play, and the opposition, if they allow us to play that style of football, we grab a hold of the games, but if they don't, we have to find a different way. And if on Saturday we found a way to win the game, Saturday coming we might have to find a way to win the game, which is a different way to the Darlington victory, but that's normally a sign of a good team. It's also a sign that the management team know what they're doing. I think the management team that's coming in under Radcliffe Radcliffe Borough. Sorry, it's not called Radcliffe Borough, I believe, Radcliffe FC. They know what they're doing at this level, and we've got to be wary of that. You've got to be guarded by it, but we've got to make sure that we fully believe what we're doing and try to do what we're doing and carry that out to the best of our ability. If we do that on Saturday, I'll be pleased. You
mentioned your squads. One or two of your rivals didn't even feature last weekend, so you've still got plenty to come in with.
Yes, and it's, as I say, you piece together this jigsaw over pre-season, and even if you've got 11 players and are all 11 going to start, are you trying to prove a point where that's going to say? And I think we had some good players last year, and we managed to retain some of that quality, and hopefully that quality will shine through in this lower division. But the amalgamation of the new and the old, as it were, I think that's a key part of any success that we're going to have. The Kidderminster way, for instance, the new players and the young players that we brought in, understanding what it means playing Kidderminster Harriers and for Kidderminster Harriers. It will carry a little bit of pressure. I'm not thinking for 1 minute that the target's gone from the back. For sure, it's going to get bigger if we win games and we perform the way we did last week.
Jack Lambert, what's the situation with him? Because he's been carrying an injury, obviously. There are various sort of rumours doing the rounds about his future here. Can you assure us he has got a future here and he's fit?
His future's here because he's under contract here. That doesn't change. I think Jack has showed a side to him that if he's not in the first team, he wants to play, which is not unusual when you've got good quality like Jack Lambert in the background. But he came back having had a poor off-season, which was a combination of a lot of things. But he had a poor off-season and arrived back in sort of behind the first team squad, the first team players. So consequently, we had a game plan set out for Jack Lambert alone. And he's got up to speed with that, if truth be known. He played with the under-23s last week against Tamworth, and in a victory behind closed doors or on the training ground. And he's staked a claim again in training this week, but again a circular was put out on Monday and Tuesday last week with regards to Jack wanting to play first team football. It's as simple as it gets. Does he want to move? If he's playing in the first team here, it wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't such an interest in moving away. But he's not in the first team at the moment. If he gets in the first team, I think this little storm in a teacup, if you like, will disappear. I think where Jack's concerned, he's a good player. There will be teams out there that have recognised the circular and will want to take him, there's no doubt about it, but there'll be a transfer fee involved, and sometimes at this level, that, as you well know, a transfer fee tends to put people on the back burner. It's to be managed. It's to be managed by Jack and his management team, and it's to be managed by myself and Neil MacDonald. And I wouldn't say, Jack's got no future at the football club by any stretch of the imagination. Hopefully he will understand that we brought in good players, and just because we've gone down in division doesn't mean to say there's going to be competition for his position and other positions. So with that in mind, do I think Jack's got a future here? Yes. Does Jack think he's got a future? I don't know. If he's in the first team, I would say yes. If he's not in the first team, maybe not.
When you say he didn't have a good off-season, what do you mean by that?
He left away in a position where he was injured at the end of last season, and consequently holidays, time away with the family, time away from the physiotherapy. If he'd had 10, 12 weeks, which we had off, if he'd had 10 or 12 weeks under the physio, he'd have been ready for action, probably more than anybody else on the first day of training. That wasn't the case. Probably a little bit of his fault, a little bit of our fault. We've resolved that issue at our end. And hopefully we can resolve that issue at Jack's end as well by, extra training sessions, bringing the body fat levels down, so his levels of fitness are going to fit the Kidderminster Harrier way.
Might one option be, hopefully he gets back into the first team squad and then problem resolved, so to speak, but might it be that, a loan deal somewhere for a month or so just to get his fitness levels up?
I don't think a loan would help Jack. I think probably the main part of it would be here under sessions, whether a single or double. The training regime that we have at Kidderminster Harriers at the moment is second to none. It doesn't matter whether you're talking league football or not there, we've got enough experience in the backroom staff to make sure that they get professional treatment. And that'll be 5 days a week, 24/7 if necessary. Jack's going through that regime at the moment. If he's rubbing his hands because hard work will benefit him, then he's got a great chance.
And just coming back to the couple of games you've got coming up now, obviously you went away and won at Darlington, home now against Radcliffe, then against Brackley. I suppose in the eyes of fans that brings its own pressures really, because you had a great result at Darlington and they'll be expecting you to back that up now in the next two.
The expectation levels at the football club are quite high to start off with, and I'm not shirking any responsibility where that's concerned. Bringing in the players that were brought in, hopefully we'll be able to shoulder that burden, as it were, or responsibility. I would class it as the second part. It's never been a burden to play football in my head. It's more of a responsibility. You have a duty to the badge, you have a duty to the football club. And when you sign for Kidderminster Harriers in this division, as I say, the target's always on your back, so our responsibility is to make sure that we bring our A game to Agbra on Saturday in front of our own fans, and hopefully send them away in the knowledge that we've got another game at Agbra on Tuesday. But the first one first. It's a tough game. Radcliffe will be there or thereabouts at the end. I think the bookmakers have confirmed that already, so I believe what they say. But it'll be a tough game. It'll be a game where I think there'll be plenty of chances. There'll be plenty of goals. Radcliffe are renowned for open attack and play, but I think if anybody wanted to know what style of football we're playing this year, I think that was resolved. Whoever watched us against Darlington, we want to play open attack football, and if it'll be the case of whoever takes the chances on Saturday is going to win the game.